Alright guys, the moose hunt is over. This video is going to be about the moose hunt, so viewer discretion advised. There's a picture of 3 dead ptarmigan and a picture of a dead moose, and I cut my wrist, so there's a picture of my wrist being laid open and before I got it stitched up. So if you don't want to see a dead moose or some dead birds or my cut wrist, don't watch this video. Alright, if you do, stay tuned. It's pretty good. I arrived in Fairbanks and knew I was in moose country. I seen 5 other guys from our flight at the baggage claim picking up their camel backpacks and headed over to the area of the airport to pick up their gun cases. My brother-in-law, Donnie, lives outside the city limits of Fairbanks in a very nice log home. About a mile from the pipeline, I decided to launch my drone and capture some of the beautiful countryside Fairbanks has to offer. The next day we loaded up the trailer with 2 4x4s and 1 6x6 and all of our gear. The cabin is at the foothills of the White Mountains, a 50-mile drive from Donnie's house. Once at the trailhead, we had a 5-mile journey over some rough terrain, accessible only by 4x4. At the end of the 5-mile trek, nestled on a hilltop overlooking 2 valleys, is Donnie's cabin. So here's Donnie's cabin. It is 20 by 24. It's got 2 double bunks below and 2 twin size up top. It's got a, I think it's, what is that, a 30-inch range there, propane range. And he's got actual water, a sink. He's got a, what is that, 30 gallon, 15 gallon tote with a pump inside. Two beautiful picture windows. And that's normally how the day begins. People are in their pajamas grabbing binoculars and looking outside trying to see if there's any moose nearby.
While the cook's rattling the pots.
While the cook's rattling pots and pans. And we've got a nice oil drip stove over there. And one more window facing the north. The cabin offered beautiful sunrises and sunsets. One night we were blessed with the aurora. We began each day at sunrise, peering out the 2 picture windows with binoculars looking for a moose. Our first day we seen a huge bull across the valley. We went over there and called for an hour, trying to bring him up towards us, but no luck. Headed back to the cabin, Donnie spotted some ptarmigan and shot 3 in total. All in all, I think we shot about 15 birds. You got 1?
2.
Oh, 2? The next day we went to a different ridge looking for moose, but only spotted 1 cow. Day 3, me and Donnie walked down the mountain and spotted a few grouse along the way. A few hours later, his dad Donnie came down and picked us up. On the way back, that's when it happened. A young bull jumped out in front of the 6x6. About 80 yards away, Donnie jumped out yelling to his son to step on the brakes. Donnie took the first shot as the bull was running from us and struck it in the spine. As it struggled to get back on its feet, I placed the second shot in its lungs. We got our moose. Alright, so as we started to skin that moose out, Donnie was telling me and Donald about all the accidents with cutting your partner or whoever's around you with a knife while you're skinning out the moose. And so he was getting ready to go pick up his wife, and me and Donald were staying there to skin out the moose, and guess what happened? I didn't cut Donald. I cut myself. I don't even know how I did it to this day. I keep trying to go over in my mind what I did wrong. Mistakes were made. I cut the outside of my wrist. I put a picture up in here so you can take a look. I don't recommend doing it. I had to go into town. I got 8 stitches, and then Jennifer, Donnie's wife, asked me if I wanted to get some Taco Bell before we went to the emergency room. I love Taco Bell. Yes, of course I want to go get some Taco Bell. Swung by Taco Bell, got a full belly, and then we went and got some stitches. And then 30 minutes later we were done, and she took me back out to the cabin, and we continued hunting for, what, 5 more days? Anyways, had a great time, loved it.
So after a successful moose hunting trip again, up in the White Mountains, 50 miles outside of Fairbanks, Alaska, and 5 miles up not a very nice trail, but a lot of fun nonetheless.
What?
We've hunted and looked and glassed through binoculars for moose. We've seen some huge moose, but couldn't get to them. But we did look into a paddle bull, which was nice. And we ended up with 1 moose this year. Usually we end up with 2, but
Different plans this year.
Just one.
just 1 this year. And we had a new hunter with us this year. None other than my son-in-law,
Present.
who is present and waving. He's the one with the beard.
Wait a minute, everybody's got facial hair here.
Well, not all of us.
Even grandma.
It's like, wow.
Well, we saw you know, mid 50s to high 50s. You know, he had that big old H look to him. You know, he went out and up real tall, and we went up top and we couldn't spot him from the far side before we went on the ridge where the moose was at. So we decided to try to go over there anyway, just to see if we could call him up somewhere. So we went up there and we called, and then I tried the old take a nap on the ridge side and see if he'd show up while I'm sleeping. That didn't work either. That usually always works. They always walk right by me when I'm sleeping.
No.
But I think it was a pretty pleasant day. We had a squirrel running around with a mushroom that was bigger than the squirrel.
It's true.
I think we shot some willow ptarmigan that day.
We shot ptarmigan.
Yeah, I think we shot the willow ptarmigan on the way back. We got, what, 3 ptarmigan
Yeah.
on the way back. And then I think we probably picked up a few grouse that evening and stuff. But we've got lots of grouse and ptarmigan this year. So I bet we've shot 15, 16 birds at least. So plenty for meals.
That was a good meal.
Yeah. But then after that, I think the big guy disappeared. He seemed to move out. I don't think we've seen him again after the first couple days. And then we saw a smaller bull over there, you know, in the probably the mid 40s. He looked like he wasn't as big. You could see his antlers and stuff pretty good, but definitely wasn't the big boy. And then that one day I think we saw 2 smaller bulls chasing that cow around. That may be one of the ones we shot. You know, there was that size, small guys.
And then when we got our moose, we kind of just got lucky.
That's kind of the way it is. 80% luck, 20% skill. They kind of just popped up in front of us on the trail, and after figuring out I'd already taken my bullet out of my chamber, which I don't usually do, but to be safe with everybody, broke his back, and Brian put the finishing shot in him after he was down. So that was a nice easy moose to get. It's nice to get them that close to you where you don't have to pack them 200 yards, 300 yards to blow down. That's always kind of nice. And then we loaded them up in the minivan and sent them back to town.
along with one of the hunters.
Yeah.
Who tried to slit his wrist.
Yeah,
We're good.
Accidents were made.
Well, there was a self-inflicted accident. Make sure that's understood. That occurred. Required a little bit of nylon fishing line to close it back up. So it was nice to get that done, and that worked out pretty slick. I tell you what, for having a minivan handy to run you into town, run you back out. I mean, it just all worked out great.
Yeah. And then you got to go in with the moose when I came back. So
yeah.
And everybody has to get cut.
Everybody has to get cut.
One
Not
time
even
or
do
another.
You've never been cut, Donald?
Well, bring him over here. Let's
We'll
and
take
the wind
that this
today
year.
is blowing 30 to 50 miles per hour.
Wind's howling today. It's cold. What was it? 28 degrees outside.
28 this morning.
And we got an oil stove going right now, which has warmed up the cabin. So it's really very pleasant.
Inside, yeah, what is the temp inside? 60?
Now it is.
60 degrees inside, 28 outside. Donald, what do you got to say? Anything? Hold on, I gotta get you in camera here. Yeah.
Good hunting trip. Really good cooking. We like the cooking.
Oh, wait a minute. Where's the chef?
Where's
at?
the cook?
Here's the cook, the bottle washer.
She did a great job
Good.
cooking.
And I
Good
had
job.
a wonderful time with the guys.
She had a
my
great
favorite-
time,
all
and
my
we enjoyed her
favorite
being
boys.
here.
Not a bad bed partner either.
Keeps you warm. Donald, I didn't hear what you said. What'd you say?
Well, good trip.
Saw good friends.
Good friends. Had our friends come up one night. Good card games. You know, Granddad likes to cheat a little bit, I think. Other than that.
And win.
Granddad, you gonna say goodbye to the cabin?
As much as I hate to say goodbye to the cabin for another year, and hopefully I'll be back next year for another great hunt and all the scenery and everything that goes along with it.
After cleaning the cabin, Donnie laid down the bear deterrent on the front porch as the moose hunt ends and our departure back to Fairbanks begins.